Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is the 1000th video. That's right, 1000 videos. That's what I'm down to now, or up to, down to, up to, whatever. Um, so what do you do at 1000 videos at this point, huh? Pretty much everything I've been doing before. So if you haven't joined me before, if this is your first time because you saw 1000th video, what is this asshole doing for 1000 videos? Um, welcome, by the way, and I'm sorry. But pretty much what I like talking about some different TV shows, genre stuff, things like that. I'm not here to get YouTube famous. I'm not here to make money or anything like that. I pretty much just want to talk about the shit that I like talking about. And this came about from years and years of going into comic book stores and working in comic book stores and owning a comic book store at one point and talking to people as they were coming in about comics, TV shows, everything else down the line down there. And it was kind of fun, that interaction. And honestly, I don't collect comics anymore. I follow some of the stuff every now and then online. Every now and then I'll pick up a trade or something like that. But mainly it's TV shows and movies now for me. So, and an occasional video game here and there. Thanks, Sirius. Thanks, Morks. Um, you recently hit 100? Yeah. Yeah, 100 is big as well, trust me. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of where this all came about. So I know my videos don't get the most views and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I know some people have reached out in the comments and things like that. Uh kind of asking about, if that bothered me. It doesn't really. Um Again, if this was my livelihood, if I was relying solely on YouTube, if I was trying to become, YouTube famous, if you will, then probably, but no, it doesn't. This is a hobby for me. This is something fun. And that's kind of how I always approached it. Um, so yeah, let's get started. I don't know on this train. I'm actually pulling up my Facebook page. So, by the way, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get to it here. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. Now at 1,000 videos, so it should pick something for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you feel lucky or feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. So the best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages. There we go. Now I got the stuff out of the way. You think of YouTube as your retirement plan? Oof. Well, if you live in the States, serious, that's pretty much all you have to rely on. If you're in Canada, that might be a different story. I mean, you might be able to get something better than that. Take a sip of my tea. Um, so what do I have here? So this is going to be kind of a mashup, if you will, of pretty much everything that I do here. I have, you know, normally what I would be doing right now would be a Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, but and Saturday Morning Blast Off is kind of where I do genre news, that stuff that was coming up, and or spoiler alert, where I talk about spoilers of, it's a free for all. Basically, if anyone wants to talk about TV shows, movies, video games, anything like that, spoilers, that's why there's spoiler alert signs up here and here. So don't be surprised if there are some spoilers thrown out there. And speaking of which, I'm going to go out. I'll go out on the negative for the first thing here. Andor, fuck me, man. Why did it need to be 12 episodes long? I stopped covering Andor just because it was becoming a hate review, is really what it was becoming. And oh man, that ending was just stupid. It really was. There's a few things that were not that for me were a waste of time. Like Andor himself, why was he in the series to begin with when it should have just been focusing on Mon Mothma? Um, Also, the whole thing I kinda glossed over is that Marva, basically abducts a, indigenous child from his family and, absconds with him and turns him into a life of crime, and no one says anything about that either, so, "Hey, thanks, Mork, you didn't need to do that." Siri says, "Haha, said it was better than the Rings of Power, but I still don't know, what that show area I still don't know what that show, was about." Okay, there we go. Neither does anyone else about the Rings of Power. Neither do the producers either. Um, Honestly, Andor should have just been about Mon Mothma and Laren, or Skarsgård's character. You really didn't need Andor in that whatsoever, and you could have had a better storyline and got it down to 6 episodes. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Yeah. Raymond says the only thing that really bothered me was that they never addressed his sister. Yeah, exact. That was the other thing too. They dropped his sister. Like that whole thing, just that whole plot line went away. Why was it even brought up in the first place then? Why do we even need it? Why do we need to see his background of where he came from? I don't understand why that was there if you were just going to drop it completely. Um, you didn't need the first 2 episodes at all. You could have just had him, he's there. We know who this guy is, from Rogue One. Uh, you know, yeah. Mon Mothma is too much of a mouth. You could have Rebels Begins or The Beginning, something like that. CBM. You didn't need to be Mon Mothma. You could have Rebel Alliance or Uprising. Uprising. There we go. Uprising. That's a perfect title right there. And you could have literally had it be about Mon Mothma. So yeah. Yeah, Skarsgård is great and everything. I mean, he's a great actor, so yeah. Mon Mothma and or Skarsgård. Yeah, but so yeah, I really was not a fan of that series. It just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm better off for not having seen it anymore. I know there's a second season that's coming that leads directly into Rogue One, but honestly, I just really don't care about it. I'm actually scrolling through. If you go over, if you those of you who still have Facebook, there is a Facebook page for me, of course, and a Facebook group page where you guys can take a look at that stuff. And I do post stuff on there daily, pretty much. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, actually, a few things I wanted to talk about, if I can get to it here. And I'm actually blanking on it now at the moment. So I went to this thing over Thanksgiving weekend called um, "Do I Have Punisher in My Collection?" Alton Seljmani. I'm sorry, I'm gonna murder your name. I did at one point. I don't have a collection anymore, so my collection got sold off a long time ago. But yeah, I had the Punisher War Journal, Punisher Armory, things of that nature. So yeah, I had all of that. As a matter of fact, at the fan expo that I went to on Thanksgiving weekend, Carl Potts was there. For those of you who don't know who Carl Potts is, he's an artist that, 80s, 90s, and there and more. And he used to work on the Punisher quite a bit, and that is I liked his style of artwork. But yeah, he was there. There was a lot of artists that were there actually. I got Tom King and Mitch Gerard, who did Adam Strange, the latest Adam Strange story. So he ended up, of course, the both of them ended up signing that book for me. That was kind of cool. Alton says, "How much is the collection behind this behind me? These are just books and DVDs." So, oh, are you talking about, do I have a Punisher figure? I do have one Punisher figure in my collection of stuff. It's in one of my boxes out in the storage area, is where that's at. and it's actually an old figure too. It's one of the it's the one where he has it's an alley scene that he's standing on top of like an old beat up fire escape. But and this stuff is just collected over the years. I mean, decades, I guess you could say. There's some more recent stuff like these two guys appear. They're recent. Batmites in the last couple of years here. That's the newest thing is the armorer. That's actually signed by Emily Swallow, by the way, who plays the armorer. She was at the Fan Expo as well, so she actually signed that. Um, Things of that nature. So, the Punisher Netflix series was okay. They're going to be rebooting that thing for Disney Plus. So yeah. Um, So yeah, like I said, I saw quite a few people at Fan Expo. Emily Swallow was there, Giancarlo Esposito was there, Ming Na Wen was there. The cast of Smallville minus Chloe, because of course she's in jail, was there. Hey Stanley, thank you. Um, Kevin Smith was there, but he was behind a curtain. It was really pretentious. I thought it was funny at the same time. That don't look at the man behind the curtain, kind of thing. Brent Spiner was there. Gates McFadden was there as well. Things of that nature. So it was interesting. It was just way too expensive a ticket for what they gave us. So I would have paid 30, maybe $35 for the day, but other than that, um, yeah. They're probably going to reboot it. Alton, excuse me. They haven't announced anything as of yet. So same thing like Daredevil. Daredevil is getting remade. 2024 is when it's supposed to come out, and it's called Daredevil Reborn. They're already working on that. Only Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio are actually reprising their roles as Daredevil and Kingpin. So yes, and actually D'Onofrio has already, both of them already played the roles already in recent Disney Plus series. So yes, they are going to be rebooting that, if you will, soft rebooting in that. Always liked the actress until you saw the documentary. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of funny. She tried getting Kristen Kruk. I and she tried recruiting Kristen Kruk into that whole thing, and I want to say just the timeline of things. It seems a little suspicious, but I want to say that she was in it as well for a hot minute, and then she just got out of it. That's what it seems like, anyway. So, this is kind of interesting. So, some news that I have here. So, Amazon is close to closing a deal to have Warner Brothers DC animation content come to Prime Video. Um, that's actually big news because I don't know if you know, but Warner Brother, DC animation stuff is big and generates a shit ton of money and also interest in the DC characters. So, not having it on HBO Max because, HBO Max is a hot mess at the moment. Um, and then having it over on Amazon Prime is, while you're still getting your stuff out there, uh, it's not going to HBO. It's not going to it's going to Warner Brothers, but it's not going to HBO. So yeah. Alton, it's gonna be Disney Plus is where it's gonna be. Disney Plus has been doing adult themed content. You have to now when you sign into Disney Plus, you can actually activate. They have movies on there like X-Men and stuff like that that have violence in it. That you have to actually Deadpool's on there too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Deadpool and Deadpool 2. So in order to watch those R-rated movies, you need to sign into your account and authorize that you remove all the child locks, if you will, on it. Stanley said, I thought Kristen was an ex, yeah, whatever. Yes, she was in it briefly, from what I understand, but supposedly she got out of it. Supposedly, I never watched the documentary, but I read the initial, I want to say, was it Vanity Fair or Rolling Stone article that kind of broke this whole story. And I mean, I went through that. That was a long, long story, and it was interesting. It was fascinating and scary. It really was. But yeah, that whole thing was weird. But yeah, Kristen Kruk was there too. Um, Everyone looked good except for Tom Welling had the porn stash going on. So think of this only with this part gone and scruff all along there. He just looked like he was. It looked like he was looking, working in porn. So anyway, yeah. So we also got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer out as well. This last couple of days, and that actually looks pretty good. I'm guessing that that gun is killing off the entire crew, or at least parts of the crew. That's what it looks like anyway. So I know Drax is supposed to go because what's his face doesn't want to be part of Marvel anymore. So yeah, that's great. I don't care. Um, have I watched House of Cards? No, all tonight I haven't. I have so much other stuff that I've been watching. I haven't had a chance really to watch that. Um, I thought she even had a brand. She probably did have a branding from that. I wouldn't be surprised, Stanley. Yeah. Okay, so she did. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of different TV shows and movies to keep up with. I know, trust me. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. Trust me, as I'm covering this stuff. That's why if you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, you take a look at that schedule there. I've got future stuff underneath it, and I've kind of cherry picked the stuff that mostly I'm going to cover. The Star Trek stuff I'm not covering. I'm not covering Picard. I'm not covering Orville. Um, Mainly because Paramount Plus just sucks, and so does the Star Trek properties right now. They're horrible. If you like them, that's great. I'm not a fan. I tried and just it's bad. Yes, I am watching The Boys and Invincible. I've covered both of those and I continue to cover that. We actually just had Gen V come out or Gen 5. I don't know how they're actually calling it, but we had a sneak teaser trailer that came out yesterday that I posted up on the Facebook page. And it looks violent as hell. So that's the spinoff from The Boys. That is the boys in college, if you will. So it's taking all the soups that are young and in college and with powers. That's what's going on there. Yeah, serious. So the thing with Invincible is, and I'm fairly sure this is what's going to tie in with this. Amazon making that deal with Disney or with Warner Brothers Animation, I think is also going to help with their other animated properties as well. Since they're going to have, they would basically have that animation studio, they'd be supporting it. And I'm sure that's part of the deal is they want to bring in other stuff like Invincible, since Invincible is being done overseas, if I remember correctly, and it takes forever to fucking do animation. Ask the Venture Brothers guys, and that is something that really needs to. I look at it this way: if you're going to green light a animation project, green light at least 3 seasons. Look at it, watch the first season, watch or read the scripts for the first season. If you're going to be the person who's going to green light it, and greenlight 3 seasons of it. That way it can be worked on. And if the first season crashes and burns as it's being, the second season is being made, you can cancel at that point. You must have read the comic book of the boys. Yes, I've read the comic book for the boys. I like the comic for the boys, but I like the TV version of it better. Um, and Invincible does have a huge budget already, Alton. Yeah. Um, They are supposed to be doing a live action movie of Invincible from what I understand, but I don't know where that's at the moment. I don't know how they're gonna do a movie. They really should do a TV series, but I don't know how you do a TV series of that unless you well, there are ways of doing it. I mean, If you look at Korean and Japanese TV shows and movies, and there are ways of doing special effects well and cheaply that can be mass produced, that don't need to cost an arm and a leg like they do in Hollywood. Serious says, I did not know any of this. That's too bad. Until now, I figured animation could be cranked out faster. No, no. Uh, Animation. So you have a lot of workers that are cranking out animation, but the thing is, sometimes the animation doesn't look right because you have so many people working on these things that when it starts going through quality control, once it's done and it goes to the producers or the director or basically your quality control people, and they start looking at it and they're like, okay, we need to redo scenes, da 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 da. And they send it back to get it redone. And why? Because there might be something off. Maybe the character sheets are off. Character sheets are basically the models of the characters. Somebody might have drawn something wrong or something like that. And usually the people that are going over this are really, really good at seeing these things. For me, for example, when I was watching the first season of Star Wars Rebels, I was watching it with my roommate at the time, and I went during one of the episodes, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Someone in the background. I don't know what they did, but they didn't get their keyframes right." And so I rewound it back, and I showed him this character. All you could just see is the leg in the background, but the leg was stuttering. It was doing this as it was walking by, and I don't know how it made it into the final cut, but I mean, the leg's doing this. And, then he saw it, and ever since then, he was just like, "Fuck you, you kinda ruined that for me." And I'm like, "Yeah, welcome to my world. I catch all this shit myself too." So, yeah. That's why, the Venture Brothers, by the way, that's why it took so long for their stuff to because literally it was only Doc Hammer and, Jackson Public that were going over you know, the rushes of what was being produced over in the animation studios over in Asia. And as they came in, they would go, "Nope, this all needs to be redone," and they'd send it back, and they get it redone. And then, of course, you have to make sure this all syncs up to the audio as well. So the audio is recorded before the animation is done, obviously, because you want to sync up the animation to the audio so it looks right. Which is a pain in the ass, by the way, to get it right. I mean, you could slow things down, speed things up, whatever. It's still a pain in the ass to get things right. Um, yeah, Trump. I mean, I had a piece of 3D animation that was in my reel, my final reel from my final piece there, and all it was Bruce Campbell in Jack of Trades, or basically the one where he played the Buccaneer kind of thing. And it's just one line. He goes, "Poker? I hardly even know her." And he starts laughing. Well, I had a 3D character that was lip syncing that while playing poker. He's sitting there playing poker. And literally, I spent, conservatively, I would say about 80 to 100 hours on that, just lip syncing that one line and getting it perfect. So there you go. And that's not even, doing building the set for it and all that stuff that I did. And yeah. So if that gives you any indication of how much goes into animation. So every time you poo-poo animation, you know, just you got to remember what goes into that. There is a lot of work that goes into that stuff. And um it's not trivial. It really isn't. Sirius says, yeah, sometimes when I make a video, I don't realize the audio from the original footage was out of sync until after the entire goddamn thing is done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it happens in movies as well. I mean, digital was the greatest thing. I mean, where you can actually sync. So with digital, you can actually make markers in both the digital video and the digital audio, and you can line up digital audio and video correctly and get it right on sync. So and a fun little fact in animation, when you are syncing up audio to animation, you always want to make sure the audio what is it? The animation starts like probably a couple of frames It's usually so you're usually shooting at 24 frames a second. So you usually want to do about what was it, 10 frames before the audio starts. That's where the mouth starts moving to make it right. Otherwise, it doesn't look like the mouth is in sync. It's the weirdest fucking thing, but you need to do that. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass too. Is there any wonder why I don't do that for a living? No, not at all. We also got Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and that's coming out June 9th. I didn't even know this was actually being made, tell you the truth. Speaking of animation, and it's a live action movie. I don't know who the humans are that are in it, quite honestly. Not that it matters because we're mainly just there for the Beast Wars stuff. But that looks interesting. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on Prime or something like that, but I'm not going to go and see it in the theater. Yeah. Yeah, animation does get no respect. I agree with you. Neither do animators. That's why when it was kind of funny when Kevin Feige announced they were going to be doing a lot of CGI heavy Marvel's production, and there was a huge complaint from the Marvel animation houses because one, they weren't told that this was coming down the pipe. That's they found out when everyone else did, and they were like, "What the fuck?" And two, they just don't have the manpower in order to do all that. They're already stretched thin as it is. That's why your shit like, She-Hulk, and then there's different levels of CGI as well. So your She-Hulk stuff, which everyone says, "Oh, it looks off, it looks off." Yes, it does look off because that is passes, you get to work on it longer. And that's the whole thing. Remember, you're charging by the hour at this point. And yes, you have talented animators that are working for both, but they can only put so many hours in. That's where that's where your money's going. And trust me, the She-Hulk CGI in the movies is going to be so much more better. It's going to be on Hulk level. And the reason why the Hulk looked good in She-Hulk is because they already had the models. They already knew what to do with that. It was easy for them to just transport that over. Yeah. We also got, we found out that June 30th, 2023, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, because I guess the quest for affordable healthcare was taken. That title was taken, but yeah, I don't know. I like I like the trailer. The teaser trailer was interesting. The de-aged Harrison Ford, speaking of animation, looked interesting. But yeah, you know, we'll see where that goes. It's James Mangold who brought us the most depressing Logan ever, uh, out of the movie Logan. So we'll see what happens there. Um, and we also found out that The Mandalorian season 3 is going to hit Disney Plus on March 1st, 2023. Am I covering it? Does the Pope shit in the woods? Of course, yes, I am. So, yeah, I'm covering The Mandalorian season 3. Sirius says, "Oh man, Harrison Ford has mastered the art of starring in worldwide blockbusters while managing to look like he really doesn't want to be." I know. He's been in everything lately too. I mean, was it 1923 or something like that? He's in a lot of different things. But yeah, I agree with you. He is there. Um, oh, and just so you guys know, I will have to sign off by uh a little before 12 here. So just to keep things interesting. Why is that? Because I have other shit that's going on too. So sorry. What else do we have here? This was kind of weird. So going back to the Rings of Power, the guy who played Adar, Joseph Mali, has been recast with Sam Hazeldine from Peaky Blinders for season 2. Why? I don't know. He quit. We don't know why he quit. He hasn't said why he quit, but there you go. That's yeah, he's been recast. So it's been confirmed he's supposed to be replacing the actor for Ross, right? Yes, it has been confirmed that Harrison Ford is replacing um, William Hurt, who passed away, and for General Thunderbolt Ross, which of course brings up the Red Hulk. The Red Hulk is going to be in this. Obviously, the Red Hulk is coming in. If you look at the Thunderbolts poster, there's an obviously big hole that's sitting there. That's the Red Hulk in the lineup of characters, I should say. There's a big hole in the background, so that is where the Red Hulk is supposed to be standing there. Adar was the elf orc guy, basically the guy who was making all the orcs by uh, fucking twisted, or I don't know what he was doing, but he was the guy who got captured, then escaped. Yeah, yeah. Stanley says the Adar guy was one of the better characters. Yeah, the Adar was the better character in that show. I agree with you. He was. And this was kind of weird. So Warner Brothers actually released a poster for Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, of course, being one of their characters, superhero characters. So they are doing a movie. It's going to be in theaters, excuse me, August 18th, 2023. But all they did on Twitter was they released a poster and just said, hey, August 18th, 2023. You guys might want to, I don't know, beef up that advertising budget a little bit. If I were Warner Brothers, if I wanted to make money off of these movies, but yeah, yeah. So, yes, I like Durin the Fourth. Elrond was okay. Elrond Hubbard. Elrond Hubbard, yes. And then we also got the Witcher Blood Origin trailer that's coming out. So the Witcher Blood Origins is coming out on December 25th, and it's supposed to take place 1,200 years before The Witcher. And I'm like, now that I saw the trailer, at first I was excited about it, and then I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Who looks like Matt Smith mixed with was it Elrond or was it Adar? Adar? Deer? Adar? Adar? I yeah. Elrond. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. All these fucking names. When you're trying to get funky with names, and then you have some asshole like me who has a pronunciation deficit as it is on just pronouncing regular names. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fucked up. So there you have it. I already talked about that. Oh, this was kind of interesting. So AMC Plus canceled the second season of Moonhaven. They actually canceled Moonhaven completely after they had renewed it for a second season. So they had renewed it for a second season 4 months ago, and now they've canceled it. And the reason for this is they're trying to make up about $450 million because here, because why would you pay, to for a streaming service that really has some really shitty programming? I'm looking at you, Paramount Plus, um, and Apple TV. And yeah, so yeah, they canceled it. They canceled Moonhaven. I heard it was okay. I mean, maybe they can shop it at Amazon since Amazon's buying up everyone else's stuff anyway. Oh, and we did finally get a trailer for The Last of Us. The Last of Us, which is coming out January 15th on HBO. We did get a trailer for that. And okay. I never played the video game. I know a lot of you have out there. Um, and yeah, I'm okay with it. It looks good. It looks like your standard apocalypse, zombie run from the zombie kind of thing. I mean, I'm kind of burned out from Walking Dead and um God, there's been a few of them that have been out there already, and yeah, they're pretty much follow the same formulaic format. So I'm like, have I played any good games recently? I haven't touched. I'm staring at my PS5 right now, as you said that, Raymond, and I haven't turned that fucker on in like months. I just haven't had the time. I really haven't. Yeah. Stanley says I already saw the video game. Not sure I needed a show. Zombies are over for me anyway. Okay. Yeah. The new God of War is pretty. So, oh, speaking of God of War, they're talking about doing a movie or a TV show of that. So I didn't know this, but Christopher Judge, who played Teal'c in Stargate SG-1, he's been doing the voice for the God of War all this time. I didn't know this. So he actually wants to play the live action version of that, and I guess he's been campaigning for it. I'm like, sure, let him give him a chance. I mean, the dude's big. He's not the best actor in the world, but then again, I mean, if The Rock can actually pull some stuff off, let him have a chance. I mean, he's still a better actor than The Rock is. Siri says, "I played it. It's good, but it is that standard zombie shtick. I was just executed surprisingly well for a video game. Okay, it'll probably be an okay movie. So it's a TV series, Sirish. It's a TV series. So." Yeah, that's what I don't know is how it's gonna play out as a TV series. Like I said, it might have been good if it came out when the video game came out a while back, when Walking Dead was still hot, but now it's just, yeah, thanks. Pedro Pascal's in it, though. You like Pedro Pascal, come on. And this was kinda interesting. I didn't realize they were doing a second season of this. Alice in Borderland, which is a Korean show, if I'm not mistaken. Which was really wonky. It was on Netflix, the first season. I covered it for an Is It Worth My Time? I liked it for the most part. December 22nd, season 2 is coming out on Netflix, and I was like, "Fuck, alright, I can watch that." Ah, better than The Rock is a low bar, but they should try. I agree with you. Yes. Yeah. Stanley says, "Last of Us is probably a pass for me, but if the buzz is very good, maybe." Okay, well, I'm gonna be covering the first couple episodes. We'll see where it goes from there, you know? We can see what happens with it. Because yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go either, to tell you the truth. Um, I am scrolling and scrolling. I'm doom scrolling through my stuff here. Um, oh yeah, and of course, Doom Patrol season 4 is starting this week. That's right, it's starting this week. So we'll be doing that. Um, oh, and by the way, Titans. Oh my god. Ugh. Titan season 4 is just ass. I mean, complete and total ass. Uh they had a mid-season finale that happened this last week. Beast Boy finally changes into something other than a virus. Literally, he changed to a virus. Fuck me. So he changed into a gorilla at one point, and so they had a CGI gorilla, which looks suspiciously like Gorilla Grodd from The Flash. I'm fairly sure they repurposed that model, only just tinted it green. And yeah, it's pretty boring. So Raymond says Walking Dead finally wrapped up after 12 years. Yeah, I heard they had ended, but yeah. Sirius says Uncharted wasn't even all that appealing to me. It was basically a video game based on India. Yeah, I saw it when it came out on Prime, and I fell asleep during it because it was that boring. I literally was trying to watch the stinger that happens, in the mid credits, I guess, stinger or something like that for Uncharted. I tried watching that thing literally 5 times and I kept falling asleep during it. That's how boring it was. During the end credits scene. I mean, come on. Yes, I have been keeping up with Rick and Morty, Raymond. Finally, so Adult Swim's been kind of funky about letting people watch stuff on their app, and of course, HBO Max doesn't show anything until it's a year later on Rick and Morty. So I finally saw all of what's been released so far of the latest season, and it's okay. I mean, it's Rick and Morty. It's the same shtick, they keep doing, so it's all right. Stanley says, "Newsflash: Titans is not very good. Hold the presses." Yeah, I know. I just wish they would give them fucking their suits for a change, you know? So something that really isn't genre related, but I was watching had Al Pacino in it as a Nazi in the 70s, which was interesting. There's going to be a second season, a second and final season of that, I should say, on January 13th on Amazon Prime. So they're going to be, doing that, and I'm okay with that. That was interesting to see how that's going to be. Um, and for some reason, Resident Alien season 3 went from 12 episodes to 8 episodes, which doesn't bode well for the series, considering that it's on NBC Universal, and NBC Universal offshoot. Yeah. And CBM says, I have subscribed to Crave for Doom Patrol, and now I need to find some Doom Patrol merchandise. Yeah, there's not a lot of Doom Patrol merchandise out there, CBM. I'll say that right now. You can take a look in the DC store. I don't think there's a lot there either. There's a lot of knockoff shit here and there. Hot Topic for a while had a few things, but then they stopped. I think they might have gotten sued. But yeah, there's not a lot of there's some comic book Doom Patrol stuff out there, but there isn't any like show Doom Patrol stuff that's really out there. Yes. Well, they change the theme all the time, serious for Doom Patrol. And if you notice behind me, da, da, da. So this was actually from Comic Con, uh, right before the pandemic, I believe. Yeah, it was right before the pandemic. So the Warner Brothers booth had, if you had signed up, I forget what it was. There was something that you signed up for, and if you checked in every day, and you went to the booth every day, you got a different poster. So Morks actually has his favorite show, Titans. He's got the poster for that one. There's a Young Justice poster that I got. There's this Doom Patrol one that I got, and then there was one other, Stargirl, I think. No, I can't remember what the last one was. But this one, I had missed it when I went, and on the final day that I went in, the guy who was giving me my poster for the day said he was looking it up. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "You never got the Doom Patrol one?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, I missed it. I forgot that this was happening." And he goes, "Hang on a sec." And he went in the back and he grabbed this one for me and he gave it to me, and that was really kind of cool. So that's how I got that poster, and that's why I framed it, put it up there, and I like that poster. It's just cool. Oh man, the DC store isn't available up in Canada. Those hosers. Yeah, that sucks. Warner Brothers does suck. They really do. They really, really do. Um, let's see what else is here. Doom scrolling, doom scrolling, doom scrolling. Uh, More doom scrolling. So we know that March 24th, John Wick 4, Chapter 4 comes to theaters. Yes, we've seen that, which I'm looking forward to that. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, And that is pretty much all I got news-wise. Well, I mean, The Sandman's been renewed for a second season on Netflix, but yeah, you kind of already knew that. I mean, that was that was kind of a given. Yeah. But what else am I watching? I have been watching is it Welcome to Chippendales? Welcome to Chippendales, yeah, which has Dan Stevens in it, by the way. So Dan Stevens, of course, from Legion. He played the lead in Legion there, and also he's been in other stuff as well. He's been in Downton Abbey, um, just tons of stuff. Dan Stevens is an incredible actor. So he's introduced as Paul, and Paul is the boyfriend of Dorothy Stratton. Now, if that name might sound familiar to those of you old fucks out there, she was a Playboy Playmate, I believe 1980s Playboy Playmate of the Year, something like that. And Paul was the one that killed her. There was actually a movie that was done on this way back when, but he was just a very jealous, very violent person. And so Dan Stevens plays that guy because I didn't realize this. He was actually one of the people that helped start Chippendales. And um, Dan Stevens' portrayal of this character in that show, and it's on Hulu, by the way, for those of you who are looking for this, is so fucking terrifying. I mean, he just every time, every scene that he's in, he's just kind of exuding this menace of like, he wants to kill something. And he does such a great job in that show. Also, oh fuck, now I'm blanking on his name. Uh, he was in the Eternals. He's also a comedian. He was in Silicon Valley. I'm gonna have to look it up because honestly, I just can't remember his name. Uh, I know who he is. I just keep forgetting his name. Kumail Najani. He's actually the lead in the show. He's actually the guy who he plays the guy who started Chippendales. CBM says, I'm thinking of settling for a Doom Patrol patch and putting it on a cap. I'm telling you, man, take a look at Hot Topic. I'm fairly sure Hot Topic probably has a Doom Patrol cap for you out there. Also, Amazon. Amazon is also the repository for a lot of those things as well. That's actually where I get my DC shirts from. Is Amazon. Oh, it just said my connection was unstable. Mm-mm. There we go. Everything's good. So Stanley, it's not about male strippers. That's the whole thing. It's not anything about that. It's about the people who put this thing together. And it's a fascinating fucking story, quite honestly. And of course it's um, built up a bit too. Things of that nature. Sorry, I was hearing some knocking, but I wasn't sure what that was from. So it's not like anything it's not just about strippers. So it's actually a really interesting story. They did a good job. And they've been releasing it. It's on Hulu of all things, which of course the Disney Channel, but it's also Fox. So there you go. And I know that speaking of Fox, Noah Hawley's Alien TV series, which is supposed to be on FX at Fox or FX on Hulu, has been moving forward. And I think that's supposed to be coming out next year. I know it started filming. Yeah. CBM says, as long as it's not made by Ryan Murphy, I might be interested. I don't know who Ryan Murphy is, but okay. Hmm. Sorry, I just keep hearing knocking. And it's just weird. It's weirding me out, man. It really is. Um, I think I might have already talked about this. Well, Stargirl's been canceled after season 3 at the CW, which, no big deal there. The other thing that kind of weirded me out was we are getting a Wonder Man TV series on Disney Plus. And I think actually I did talk about this. Yahya Abdul Mateen II is going to be playing him, which I was kind of disappointed that Nathan Fillion wasn't tapped for that. But again, Nathan Fillion's been, he's been up for a lot of things. And so anyway, kind of disappointed by that one. Rianne Johnson would be worse. Yes, I agree. He's the guy who made Glee in that biopic of that serial killer that everyone was talking about. Okay. All right. That's who Ryan Murphy is. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if what Welcome to Chippendales is made by. Oh, Robert Siegel is the person who created this. So there you go. He's the guy who did Pam and Tommy. Big fan. The Wrestler. He was the writer for The Wrestler. Things of that nature. The Founder, which was the Michael Keaton starring movie about the guy who founded McDonald's. So yeah. So there you go. That's who it was written by. That's who it was created by, I should say. So it's interesting. I mean, like I said, they're releasing an episode a week, which is great because it's a slow burn that way. And also, I don't think I could actually watch, 6 episodes of. It's very intense. So that's the reason why I don't think I could watch, all 6 episodes in a row. It would just really make you kind of murderous, I think, at that point. I'm trying to think of what else. I've been watching a few things here and there. Warrior Nun, of course, I started last night, the second season of Warrior Nun, which is always fun. Warrior Nun's always fun. There you go. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, and the Mysterious Benedict Society, of course, season 2 is out or is still going at the moment. I think there's a new episode that I need to watch. Yes. And that's always fun as well. It's a lot more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. And it's kind of funny. Ryan Hurst, who was in Sons of Anarchy, was actually at Fan Expo. I saw him a couple of times there, and I was actually going to tell him I really enjoyed his work on the Mysterious Benedict Society, but it was just kind of a weird thing, kind of going up to some guy and saying, "Hey, I love you in that children's show," you know. Stanley says, Mr. Adult Man goes to the factory and does a business does normally not interest me as a show theme. Yeah. So it's not about that. It's again, it's a product of its time, 70s, 80s, late 70s, early 80s, where there is drugs, uh there's all kinds of stuff that goes on. That's all I can say. Juliette Lewis is also in Welcome to Chippendales as well. So yeah. But what else is going on? Wrong thing. Oh, there we are. I swear I just keep hearing, like, hopefully you guys aren't hearing any knocking on my on the end, but I'm hearing it through my headphones, which is really weird. Jesse Eisenberg, by the way, has a movie that's going to be coming out that it's his first time directing, which looks a lot like the guy who does Steve Zissou. Fuck, I can't remember his name now. Anderson. It looks like a lot like Anderson's movies. It has that kind of feel to it. It just looks too weird. It's not something I'm interested in at all. Excuse me. Yeah. That's really about it that I've got for you guys news wise. Yeah. I can't really find anything else for you guys. So I'm not gonna, well, hang on a sec. I might have lied. There is a few other things here. Oh yeah, so Avatar. James Cameron says that he has ideas for a sixth and a seventh Avatar, and it's like, dude, you haven't even released the second one yet, and no one even knows if it's gonna do any money because it just looks like a video game at this point. You hear very low intermittent noise. Okay, so it is. Do you want to be the only person hearing knocking? No, not really. I don't. It's not me tapping my foot. My feet aren't tapping. My feet are up off the ground, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, actually, the reason why I'm rocking back and forth is because my feet are actually on two little pedals, and I can push myself back and forth, and I can rock. It's also why I keep readjusting every now and then too. So, yeah, more Avatar. That's exactly what we need. Just more Avatar. Ugh. But not interested in that at all. Oh, Los Espookies canceled at 8 by HBO after 2 seasons. Big surprise there. So they keep trying to push that on me on HBO Max. There's this series called Los Espookies, which I guess is a Latino a Latin show, a genre show, and I really don't want to watch it. It's like it didn't appeal to me. They keep pushing it on me. I don't want to watch it. It's finally getting canceled. That's the only reason why I know it exists is because HBO Max keeps trying to push it on me. They're like, you might want to watch this. You really want to watch this. You want to watch this. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. If I wanted to watch it, I would have watched it by now. I'm not tapping my foot either. So, yeah. Any shows dropping over the Christmas New Year holiday? Yeah, The Witcher: Blood Origins. There is a place to go for that, Stanley. Suspendedfanimation.com. I have things in the good segue there. But yeah, if you go down under the schedule, there's a future stuff thing there. So his Dark Materials actually starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, the final season, the third and final season starts tomorrow. Doom Patrol starting December 8th. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is going to be on Netflix December 9th. Kindred is going to be on Hulu December 13th. Avatar: The Way of Water, which no one really want to watch, is December 16th. The Witcher: Blood Origins is December 25th. And that's all we've got so far. Yeah. But that's what's happening. And also, it's kind of funny for the first time in, I don't know, like 40, 50 years, somewhere around there. I think it's been 40 some odd years. A Charlie Brown Christmas is not going to air on broadcast TV. Oh, honestly, I really never liked Charlie Brown Christmas. I never really got into Peanuts either. The whole, um, yes, the Bad Batch is going to be on January 4th. Is that right? January 4th? I have it on here. January 4th. That is correct. You are correct, sir. Yeah, someone is hammering. I just don't know where. It's probably my asshole neighbors right behind me here. It's usually them that makes noise for no fucking good reason whatsoever. But all right. I'm at the 1 hour mark here. So I'm probably going to wrap things up so that, because one, I've run out of stuff. And two, I got to get ready for my other thing that's coming up here at 12. So, nothing that involves you guys. So, but anyway, thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. This is the 1,000th video. That's right. And if you are on the fence of subscribing there, you know who you are out there. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos of my vast 1,000 video library right now. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. It changes out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Thank you, Stanley. I will see you guys again. Oh, what do I have coming up for the rest of this week? Well, this week is going to be a little bit playing by ear at the moment. So I've got other stuff that's coming up. It's my last week of work before I go on vacation. So there's a lot of craziness that's happening. And then once freed up a little bit more. So that's where we're at with that. So take a look at the schedule at suspendedfanimation.com. That'll tell you what's happening, and I will update that as soon as I know what I'm doing. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because otherwise you'll realize that you've just hit 1,000 videos. You'll get there. Was it CBM? Are you doing? No, Sirius. Sirius is the one that hit 100 videos. Once, yeah, it's all downhill from there after 100. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again sometime this week. I just, again, take a look at the schedule. Until then, have a good rest of your weekend and stay safe out there. Wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well, because it doesn't work without the boosters. And yes, it is still roaming around. I know people that have been getting it. And yeah, the flu's out there as well. So yeah, stay safe out there, everybody. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day and have a good weekend. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.